All right, this will be the final part. So I'm yelling right now because the kiln's on full tilt. It's at a nice glow. You can see the pottery now is actually starting to glow. The entire temperature of the kiln right around 1800 degrees. This is ready to cook right now. Actually. So see that frost right there on that piece. That base is melted. It's gas off. It's ready to go. So I'm going to add some jobs. We're going to get this out here right now. So I'm going to set this here so that you can see what we got going on. I'm going to aim it at the combustion chambers because that's the exciting part. Okay, so you got your gloves. When I shut it off, the side will go out. Shake that. Right on top. This much.
Do you need an extra set of hands? Michael, do you need another set of hands?
As long as nothing catches on fire, we're good.
Okay, I will press stop if that happens.
I gotta get my gloves out. Hopefully no spiders in there.
Oh.
My tripod's a little janky here, so let's skip that. Everyone can see it. Now this would actually be easier if I had someone else who could pull and put the lid back on and keep everything nice and hot. We're gonna grab this first one. We don't do it yet. Got another one coming in.
Okay.
There's some pine needles in the bottom, and then there's
Go ahead and pine needle.
shredded newspaper, and then pine needle on top. Burn.
Go ahead and grab the lid and slam it on. And seal it up as hard as you can. Excellent.
That's about as good as it's going
That's
to get.
good. Alright.
Tight.
I'm going to go to that last one next.
The last one?
Yep. With this piece. Go ahead and put the newspaper on there. And go ahead and use the lid to fan it so it catches fire. There we go. Let it burn. And then go ahead and smother it once it's burning. So smother it. Yep.
Not all of the strips caught fire.
We just want a little bit burning. That's fine. Don't throw those back in just in case they did catch fire. I don't want to catch the rest on fire.
Safety first. On to the final piece.
These ones I want to crackle.
As you can see, you got
A little bit.
glazing.
You need a lot of newspaper for this one.
Fluid oil.
See that fluid oil? Lots of newspaper.
There's not much more, to be honest with you. There's just a little more.
That's fine. Whatever you got left.
Okay.
Very important to catch fire long. Or just seal it up. Full effect. Now for some pre-soaked wet towels. What exactly do these wet towels do?
They're going to seal it up so no oxygen gets in.
Why is it important?
So we want to make sure that this is creating a reduction environment for the ceramic so that we get a nice black, jet black finish on everything. And so this is just going to seal out all of the oxygen.
I had no idea that the color that you brought out is going to change right now.
Yeah. So it's just going to go from that like glowing red hot pink color. But when I put them in, they were gray. So it's a mixture of different metals, copper and cobalt, with some borax and bone ash. I think that's what's in there. I forget the recipe for the white crackle. Make sure I got them all. Yep, got them all. So what's happening is they came out really, really hot, and when they contacted that combustible material, it ignited. When it ignited, fire needs three things to burn: fuel, oxygen, and heat. So we provided the heat from the pottery, we provided the fuel with the combustible materials. So the only thing that is left in that equation is oxygen. So by igniting, it's starting to consume the oxygen, and then when we smother it, it's going to continue to consume the oxygen until the oxygen is gone, because the heat and the fuel is in there, but it's going to use up the oxygen. When all that oxygen is gone, it creates what's called a reduction environment. And what's going to happen is the chemical reaction, and oxidation is how you get rust, when oxygen allows for the theft of an electron into the ion, and you get iron oxide. So oxidized iron is iron oxide, which is rust. We're doing the reverse of that by actually taking away the oxygen, and it's stealing an electron, and it's called a reduction. So now we are reducing it by one electron, and that's where we're going to get the blacks and the blues and the reds, all of that coming out of that chemical reaction. So it's called an oxidation reduction reaction. And you get the same thing when you're doing a regular firing in an electric kiln or a gas kiln. The air that's flowing through there is either creating an oxidation environment, or when you shut off the dampers and you cut that flow of oxygen off, you create a reduction environment. And that's going to affect how your colors come out. So these ones that I took out first, the reason I took them out first is because I want them to have as little oxygen as possible to get the nice reds, some beautiful blues coming out. The longer they get exposed to oxygen, the more blue, the less red. But the more dull, I don't want to say dull, it's just going to be a different blue. So in order to get that one to come out with lots of beautiful reds, fast as possible from the kiln to the reduction chamber. Now these ones are white crackle. So with the white crackle ones, that glaze is designed to do what's called crawl. So the glaze actually shrinks and the pottery has already shrunk as much as it's going to shrink. So there's no more shrinking going on. So what happens is it forces the glaze as it's shrinking to crack, to actually break, and that's where you actually get those nice intricate breaking patterns in the white crackle. So those go in next, and the reason I left them exposed to oxygen is because I want that crawling effect to happen. So it needs to cool, and the longer it's exposed to the cooling, the more that's going to happen. But I still want it to go fast enough so that it gets in there, so that those cracks come out really, really nice and black, because that blackness comes from the reduction. So these need to sit in here for about 30-40 minutes to cool off. In the meantime, we fired up a barbecue, and we've got some food to eat, so there's no rush to pull these out. They can sit in here for an hour, they can sit in here overnight. It's not going to hurt them to stay in there too long, so we can eat while this is here. But here's the kiln, the after process now, like the heat just escapes right out of there. Oh gosh, we lost the live. We lost the live, I'm sorry. I don't know when it cut out. But yeah, the kiln is now empty. There's still a lot of heat coming out of there. The pieces are in the reduction. I hope that didn't cut out too bad. I got several people also videotaping it, so with some luck, we can get the film recovered and throw that on here in case we missed it. But yeah, we have little towels wrapped around all the trash cans. So in 30 minutes, we'll see the results. 40 minutes, we'll see the results. But the kiln is now empty. A lot of heat. Nice and warm still coming off of there. I will be posting the results. Hope you enjoyed it. I don't know when it cut off, I'm sorry. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. Hopefully you got to see it. But I will get some videos up here of how it's going.